G'day fellas, and welcome to 9 insane juicy legacy mechanics for Age of Empires 4's brand new expansion, the Sultan's Ascend. In this video, we're going to be going through all of the juicy mechanics. That sounds so funny, doesn't it? I don't know why they chose this name for this civilization, but hey, we're here. This is the Civ name. Welcome, guys. So we're going to be doing this in chronological order, which means we're going to start in the Dark Age, work our way through to the Imperial Age, which is cool, but at the same time kind of sucks because we're saving the best one till last. So you'll have to stick around for it. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first brand new juicy legacy mechanic that you're going to be seeing that is going to be changing, and to be honest, is going to be upsetting a lot of people. It is the change to the dynasties that they've done. So all the dynasties have got the same names, but the bonuses are different. Now, the main one that I want to be talking to you guys about is this one right here, Tang Dynasty. Landmarks cost 15% less to construct. Now, you might look at that and think, oh, that's perfectly balanced. You're wrong. It's not. It is absolutely broken as hell. I've got a sneaky suspicion this Civ is going to be absolutely cracked on release. Let's see how we go with that. So why is it crazy? It's crazy because if we take a look at Meditation Gardens, you pay 60 less food, 30 less gold. And remember, you're going for that Song Dynasty, right? So you're paying 120 less food, you're paying 60 less gold for both of these landmarks. On top of that, once you hit Song Dynasty, you're going to be getting a brand new bonus, which is that instead of, with the old Song Dynasty, your villagers were training faster. Here, your non-military buildings cost 40% less wood to construct. So that means your town centers, instead of costing 400 wood, cost 240 wood. That means your farms, instead of costing 75 wood, cost 45 wood. That means your outposts, instead of costing 100 wood, cost 60 wood. That is correct. Even if it affects outposts, it affects absolutely everything. It even affects the blacksmith as well. It affects everything. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. It's insane. It's all the good stuff, and it's beautiful to watch. So that's the first thing that we're going to be talking about. So the second thing that we're going to be talking about is one of the new units that are available to the Juicy Legacy. They've got a whole bunch of new units that are available to them, and it comes from the Shaolin Monastery. Now, if you don't go for the Shaolin Monastery landmark, then you won't be having access to this. So let's get into it. It is going to be the coolest monk available to you. Look at this guy. Oh my god, look at this guy. You got to watch this. Okay, so this dude's crazy. First and foremost, this guy costs 200 food. If we check exactly how long he takes to train, he takes 20 seconds to train. So you can just have these bad boys on repeat right now and spam these guys out. Now, of course, yes, they can pick up relics. They can pick up relics. And they're pretty quick as well. So you can see right there, base movement speed of 1.19, which is pretty cool. But they've also got the ability to fight. And these guys are no slouches. So they do 15 melee damage, but look at the attack speed. Watch this. Hold on. I'm going to treat your ears to some of the most beautiful noises you're about to hear. And I'm not talking about this little girl right here, even though she is pretty. Get bambooed, kid. Listen to that. Listen to that. Look at him go. He attacks so damn fast. You want to know the best part? When he's done attacking and he's had enough of your shit, he just heals himself up. He just heals himself up and he picks up the relic and he heals himself up and he walks back to base, and the next time you see him, he's going to be full health and you're going to be damn upset because you're going to be thinking to yourself, why didn't I deal with this guy the first time? And then you remember, oh yeah, the bamboo. That's right. So on top of that, if you thought that was insane, wait, you ain't even seen nothing yet. Here we go. What if I told you that this guy in particular hates ranged units? He hates these ranged units so much, he's got a special ability that reduces the damage he receives from ranged units by 50%. If you do 10 damage, not anymore. You now do 5 damage. Let's put this relic away. Let's put this relic away. Put it away. Look, I love the way how devoted he is. So now that we've got our friends, we can run out, and if we find any ranged units, all we're going to do is we're going to hit Body of Iron, boom. And now I've got a debuff or a buff on me that reduces range damage by 50%. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. This unit is ludicrous. And it only costs food, by the way. So remember what we were talking about before with the reduced cost of farms? Let me just build this so you can see for yourself. So because you've got, I didn't turn. Oh, no, I turned the cheat off, didn't I? So because you've got farms that cost less, 45 wood, you're making a lot more of them. And because you're making a lot more of them, you have a lot more food. And because you've got more food, you can afford to make these Shaolin Monks. So I suspect you're going to see a lot of Juicy Legacy players just making these and mixing them in with their army all the time. The other thing to note with this unit is it has no tag other than a religious tag. So it's a battle monk. It's not an infantry unit. So if you're thinking about like the Malians and their cavalry unit, how it counters infantry, it doesn't counter the Shaolin Monk. It doesn't have a range tag. It doesn't have a melee tag. It's got no tag whatsoever. So it means nothing counters this unit. The best way you can kill it is just raw damage. So like a knight, a lancer, something like that to try and break through the unit and break through its armor and try and kill it. But keep in mind, it's got a huge health pool, 170 health. It's a crazy unit. I love it. I think it's so fun. All right, let's get on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, and it is the Imperial Official. Now, you guys will be familiar with the Imperial Official from the Chinese and the way that it works. This is pretty much the same. The only difference is, let's just quickly jump into the tech tree and just show you the Chinese, just so that we have a baseline. So with the Chinese, they had access to the Imperial Academy, which increased tax generation from the buildings that were around that. On top of that, it also housed a unique technology called Imperial Examinations, which increased the amount of gold that you could hold from 40 up to 80. Now, you don't have access to either of those things here. You don't have access to that extra tax generation. You don't have access to Imperial Examinations for that higher the higher hold rate, but you do have access to some unique technologies that turn your Imperial officials into just demigods is the best word I could describe for it. So let's start off. Let's get some of these bad boys out here. So first thing is first, it is movement speed. You go fast. You're like Sonic the Hedgehog out here. You are just running around. You're collecting taxes. 1.69 movement speed. That is a very nice amount of movement speed. So obviously, if you're running faster, you're collecting more taxes, right? Like you're dropping them off faster and you're picking them up faster. So that's a cool trick. Next up, we're talking about an increase in your supervision rate. So this is really powerful when it comes to upgrades in particular. So let's say you've just hit Imperial Age and you're having a great time, and now you want to get your ranged upgrade in as quickly as you can. You're just going to supervise this bad boy, and now it's going to come in even faster because you've got this upgrade that increases that from 150% up to 300%. All right, next up. Imagine you're under attack. Oh my god, I just saw lightning outside. If I die, I'm sorry, guys. There is lightning outside. So let's say you've got a keep, and let's say that keep is under attack. And let's say you want to keep that keep alive because that's what you do with keeps. You keep them alive. Well, guess what? Congratulations. Now you can with this new technology that allows Imperial officials to supervise keeps and outposts to reduce damage taken by 35%. Congratulations. You now have a keep that's getting supervised. And I wonder, if I turn off Inner Jiffy, and because I'm now supervising the keep to reduce the damage, oh, I do too. Look at this. I can get a Springwood emplacement in 8 seconds. Talk about easy. How good is that? I don't think you could do that before. Anyway, next upgrade. It's, as you can see from the artwork, it's more Imperial officials. Congratulations. You get an Imperial official. You get an Imperial official. Everybody gets an Imperial official. You can have up to 6 Imperial officials. Look at these guys running around. 6 of them. All best friends. We can even throw them in a formation. And now they can all go in to die to the enemy while they're going to collect 1 tax from the mining camp together. Look at that. And they do it extra fast. All right, let's move on. That was our main point for the Imperial officials, but they still do have access to another technology. We're not going to be looking at it, but I will just touch on it just quickly. So for the Juicy Legacy, they have access in the Imperial Age at the Juicy's Library. They can go into Advanced Administration as well, where they gain an extra 150 health, and the maximum gold carried is increased by 80, which means they can carry 120. And they get another additional 2 Imperial officials. So you can go to a total of 8 Imperial officials. And did I mention the fact that with this landmark here, the Montlu Academy, that when you collect tax, you actually get a little bit of a kickback with food? I don't think I did. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. There you go. You get a little bit of food. On top of that, you can also collect taxes twice as often. So if I remember correctly, it used to be a 15-second limit. So the way that it would work is, so let's say that you have a whole bunch of tax here in this building, and you want to get this tax collected. So you'd have to go collect it, and now this building is on cooldown, right? It sits here on cooldown. Now that cooldown is half as long. So it allows your Imperial officials just to clean that stockpile out really, really quickly. And you can see right there, he's just, or I think it's a he, he's just picked it up and thrown it in straight away. So this civilization goes crazy on the Imperial officials. I don't think that that's necessarily a big deal, this landmark, but I think a lot of the smaller upgrades, like the supervising the keep, I think this is game changing, and it means that your keep is going to stay alive for longer, and it means that you're going to spend less stone repairing it. It's a really cool upgrade, and it allows you to get things like these emplacements and not risk losing your keeps. So let's get on to the next brand new insane thing. That was the third one. Let's go into the fourth one. It is the Temple of the Sun. That is correct. The Temple of the Sun is a landmark which, if you've played Age of Empires 3 and you've played the Japanese of Age of Empires 3, you'll be familiar with the Golden Pavilion. This is very similar to the Golden Pavilion. This landmark provides global upgrades to your units wherever they are on the map, depending on what you like. So, for me, I like to increase the damage of my cavalry. Congratulations, you can do that, sir. Here, have a 20% increase to your cavalry's damage. There you go, and you just toggle it on, and that's it. Maybe you've just had a big battle, you won, congratulations, but your units are damaged. What are we going to do? Maybe we're going to heal them up. All right, here you go. Units out of combat heal 2 health per second. Wonderful, thank you. Don't mind if I do. But maybe the enemy's got a really big army, and instead of fighting, we want to run away. What are we going to do? We're going to run away. Okay, we need movement speed. Let's do it. Extra 15% movement speed. Thank you very much. I'll take it. And finally, and most importantly, this is the big one. Get ready for it. Let's say your enemy, well, they've lost the fight, and now it's time to kill their base. And you want to do it in style. You want to do it from a little bit further away. Well, congratulations, sir. You now have access to an extra 1 range for all your gunpowder units. That means your nest of bees get extra 1 range. Your bombards get an extra 1 range. That means your Bauschwans get an extra 1 range. That means your, what else have we got? Grenadiers get an extra 1 range. Everybody gets an extra 1 range. Who's got gunpowder? Also defensive structures as well. So it means that your keeps are attacking a little bit longer. Your town centers attacking a little bit further. So everything attacks a little bit further. And this is incredible, right? The extra range in particular is what makes it crazy. But the main thing, and we're going to talk about this because this is our next point actually, is the Grenadier. But what you want to do, for anybody who's wondering, you know, how do I best utilize this? Let me show you how. So your enemy, maybe they're running away from you and they're kiting you. So they're shooting at you and they're running and they're shooting and they're running. So how do you deal with that? So what you want to do, you want to put this in a control group, okay? So control 6, I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to put everything on, these guys are going to be on movement speed. So now my guys are running faster, my Grenadiers. And I'm going to run after you with my Grenadiers. And when you stop and shoot, I'm going to keep running. And I'm going to wait until I get right up next to you. And as soon as I'm up next to you, I'm going to switch you over to the extra range, and then I'm going to attack you. And I'm going to attack you again. I'm going to attack you again, and I'm going to attack you with my extra range. And that's how I'm going to do it. And the Temple of the Sun just allows you to get on top of your enemy, and then once you're on top of them, to take them out. Really, really cool landmark. So the next big thing that we're going to talk about, and this is insane, and I genuinely think this is going to make the Juicy Legacy overpowered. It's the Grenadier. Now, the Grenadier is not new. The Chinese have had access to the Grenadier ever since they were existent. Now, just give me a sec. I just got to take a drink. I got a little bit of a sore throat. Maybe you guys can hear I'm sick at the moment. I do need to take a breath. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm good. So, the Chinese have always had access to the Grenadiers. So what makes it so special? What's so special about the Juicy Legacy? The Juicy Legacy are able to train Grenadiers in the Imperial Age without going to Ming Dynasty. Ming Dynasty requires 2 Imperial Age landmarks, and as the Chinese, that was how you unlocked the Grenadier. To get to the Grenadier, you had to build 2 landmarks, the Great Wall Gatehouse and the Spirit Way. And that's 3,600 resources in both. That is incredibly prohibitive when it comes to cost. And then finally, you unlocked the Grenadier. No one ever made these units anymore because it just wasn't worth it. There was a time where they were overpowered and everybody tried to get there. Unfortunately, they got nerfed, and they're still locked behind Ming Dynasty, whereas now they're nerfed, but they're no longer locked behind Ming Dynasty, which means that you're able to build these guys as soon as you hit Imperial Age, spend all of those resources on your Grenadiers. You don't have to go for that second landmark, and you're able to get this bad boy out on the field straight away and start smacking your enemy with them. So this unit is ludicrous, and I think that it's kind of wild that they decided to do this, but we'll see how it plays out. I've got a suspicion, though, it is not going to go well, though, for the enemies. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about a unique technology. that is available once you reach Imperial Age if you age up with the other landmark. Now, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of the technologies that come through from this landmark. So it's called Juicy's Library, if I remember. Yes, Juicy's Library. Now, there's a whole bunch of technologies in here. So to show you them all off to you, I might need to restart the game, which is absolutely fine. Now, remember that with the Chinese, you can always just build both of your landmarks if you want, but you can just go up to Imperial Age with this landmark if you want. So the way that this landmark works is very simple. There's 5 cool techs in here. You can only have 2 of them. That's the way that it works. And I'm happy to rule out one of them for you. You don't need this tech. Advanced Administration, don't bother getting it. Not worth it. You've already got enough Imperial officials. You don't have to worry about it. Like, the extra health is nice, but just rebuild them. You're not going to be upset if you'd lose an Imperial official. It's fine. Don't bother with this technology. So let's go through these techs. Let's talk about the first one, because this one has the potential to change timing pushes completely. Picture this, okay? It's your standard mid-game. You've got a nice big set of farms, and you've built up a pretty good crossbow mass, and lots of spearmen. And you're happy, right? You've got your veterancy on your spearmen, your crossbows. Maybe you got a few more crossbows than that. Maybe you're sitting on a comfy amount, a super comfy amount, a really comfy amount of crossbows. 40, wonderful. So I got my crossbows and I got my spears. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Imperial Age with Juicy's Library. And when I hit Imperial Age, I'm going to supervise. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, just a moment, fellas. I've got to attend to something here. Grenadier, strike to the south, please. Grenadier, strike to the south. All right, and let's just get all of these upgrades in. All right, problem solved. Okay, as I was saying, you've aged up. You've reached Imperial Age, so what do? Well, you're going to get your Imperial Age crossbows, so your elite crossbows, okay? And you're probably going to get your elite spearmen as well. This is a pretty important upgrade. We want to try and get this. And we might start thinking about things like incendiary arrows, because incendiary arrows are going to buff the amount of damage that our crossbows are doing. So, you know, we might drop a university down to build that, and we might supervise incendiary arrows on there, so we're maximizing our damage. And we're doing pretty good damage with this unit. But what if I told you, you can take this damage and double it? Yeah, you can literally double damage. Like, pick up the DD rune in the river and come back to mid lane. That's what I'm talking about. This technology allows, where is it? This one right here. 10,000 bolts. Zhukunu and crossbowmen fire an extra bolt. Now, I'm not talking about Zhukunu because it doesn't really matter for them because they're going from 3 to 4. It's a small amount going from 1 to 2. But here we are literally doubling their damage. We're literally giving them a second attack that does identical amount of damage to the first one. Overnight, you just get the upgrade, boom, congratulations, here's your double damage, sir, on every single one of your crossbows. That is insane. That is ludicrous. I don't know how this is possibly balanced, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. We are, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, because, you know, you've gotten to Imperial Age and you've got your cool crossbows and you've got your spears and you want your spears to be a little bit cooler. Congratulations. Your spearmen now have a fire lance. Whenever your spears are charging, they get access to a fire lance, which has bonus damage against cavalry, and it also has AoE damage. So if there's multiple cavalry units against you, or if you're just up against regular infantry, you're going to hit them with that. And now, not only does it affect the spearmen, it also affects the horsemen. So you can essentially have pseudo Yuan Dynasty. What are they called? What are they? Oh gosh, don't tell me I've forgotten the names of the Fire Lancer. Good thing I didn't forget the name of the Fire Lancer. But your horsemen look like Fire Lancers because they're carrying Fire Lancers, because they are elite horsemen with Fire Lancers. That is correct. So you get a Fire Lance, you get a Fire Lance, everybody gets a Fire Lance here. I'm wondering if it doesn't look like it changes. Is it only when they're charging maybe that they get the Fire Lance? But I mean, you only use the Fire Lance when you're charging anyway, so it doesn't really change anything. So that is going to be the first of the last 2 technologies. I'm going to quickly restart the game. We're going to go in and have a look at the other 2 technologies. Hopefully it doesn't bug out for me. I've had a couple of resets. I've had a game crash on me, and I've had a whole bunch of the boxes. You guys remember the box? I'm not talking about like the box. If you haven't already, look up the box, the Indian version. That's so funny. In a jiffy. And smorgasbord. Let's get ourselves some cheats in here. And let's throw down our landmarks. And we have to do that just simply because we can't do it any other way. Oh, gosh, bit of lag right there. And then we get Juicy's library because it is extra juicy. And so we're going to drop down a siege workshop and we're going to drop down a stable because that's what these last technologies affect. So, first up here is area of effect bombards. You guys might remember the glory days of China having 12 range bombards killing everything. The reality is, to get to that, it took a lot of work. To get to like 12, 13, 14 bombards, it took a lot of work to get there. But once you got there, you were pretty much undefeatable. It's the exact same thing here, except you don't need as many because you've got area of effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw down a little bit of population space here so we can spam out our bombards. These guys have all got area of effect on them, and you can see it actually marked by the animation that plays. It does this little circle on the ground. Let's see if we can spot it. You can see the little circles that pop down on the ground. So that indicates the area of effect. And I can tell you now, I mean, we can go and throw it down. We're up against an easy AI. Oh gosh, an easy AI. So we're really not going to be doing too much against them. But it's I can tell you now, it's remarkable. You'll be pleasantly surprised with how good it is. It's better than the Great Bombard. I can say that much for certainty. But the best part is that we can stack upgrades on this. So we've got the Bombard upgrade now with the AoE. And now I'm going to build the Temple of the Sun. And that 10 range Bombard that I've got, well, guess what? It's now going to 11 range. And then, of course, you get all the upgrades. Like you get the Greased Axles upgrade. And you make sure that you go and get your University upgrade, which gives you a little bit more health as well. You've already got Chemistry because you're playing as Juicy's Legacy. And they get Chemistry for free. But now you've gotten 4 upgrades on you and an extra range. So you've got 11 tiles of range, you've got the extra health, you've got the extra damage, extra armor. You're living your best life as a Great Bombard enjoyer. So that's the third of the technologies. And now the final technology, which I think is probably the biggest technology, because this will actually change the way that team games are played for Juicy's Legacy. Because a lot of people will look to China or Juicy's Legacy as a civilization that is quite dichotomous, I would say, in that you either go for Grenadiers or you go for Siege. Whereas now there's a third option. Is that a word, dichotomous? I feel like it should, right? Like a dichotomy? A dichotomous? Anyway, maybe it's not a word, maybe it is. Who knows? You know what? I'm just going to do a Donald Trump here and say it is a word, and it's one of the greatest words that's ever written. So, it is a technology that allows you to unlock 2 new units. That is correct. You get access. Let me find it. Here we go. Dynastic Protectors. You get access to 2 brand new units, the Imperial Guard and the Yuan Raider. Now, I'll show you the Yuan Raider first because it is the one that I think is less remarkable. So let's get the Yuan Raider out on the field. It kind of looks like a Mameluke from Age of Empires 3 because you've got the white horse. Now, one of the things you'll see about this unit is it is very fast. It is a super quick unit. It has extra damage against workers, which means that you're able to do really quite some good raiding with this unit, if that is your go-to. It's a very quick unit. That's the main driver to it, though. If you're going to be building this, you want to try and get around the enemy edges and break in behind enemy lines and be able to take out villages. That's the big thing about it. It's got a movement speed of 2.0, which I think is the fastest movement speed in the game without buffs. Very, very cool unit. And now, the final unit that we get to talk about, and the last point today. This is the last one that there is on the list. It's the Imperial Guard. And you can already tell by how much it costs that this guy is going to hurt. The Imperial Guard is a very special unit. This unit, 350 health. Now, keep in mind, that's without the upgrades. So, if I get a little bit of extra health here, 420 health. And let's compare it to a knight as well. So, we've got a knight here. So, this is a 324 health. Now, keep in mind, it's the same population space, okay? 1 population space for both of these units. That's why I'm kind of pointing towards team games. Like, this is going to change team games forever. Yeah, this is going to change team games, all right? Because this unit is ludicrous. This is so strong, this unit. It's crazy. It's beaten every single unit that I've done it in, matchups with. So, let's get all the upgrades in for it. Might as well get those ones as well. We've got our biology upgrade here, and now we can see that it has got a decent amount of health, a decent amount of damage, but guess what? That's not even its final form, because congratulations, you've got an extra 20% attack. That's correct. So now you're talking about a unit with 52 damage, 420 health, and compare that to a unit with 38 damage. So it's got 14 more damage. It's got almost 100 more health. It is absolutely insane how good this unit is. I can't begin to explain. Oh, by the way, I think, yeah, if you're in the Ming Dynasty, okay, we're in the Ming Dynasty, so you get extra damage as well from being in the Ming Dynasty. So another 15% there, but it's already being calculated in. But anyway, this unit is incredibly strong. Obviously beats all knights head-to-head. It beats all, so it beats the Royal Knight head-to-head. It is the best cavalry unit in the game, with one exception. The Cataphract. The Cataphract is the only unit that I could actually get to beat this unit. However, you need to use all of the available skills that you've got with the Cataphract. There's a whole bunch of different skills that the Cataphract has, whereas this one, like, you just set and forget it, right? Like, the Cataphract, whenever that you fight with the Cataphract, like, you got to use the Pilgrim's Flask, you've got to use your Triumph ability, then you will win. If you don't use Triumph, you will lose. And it's for that reason that I think that the Imperial Guard is the best cavalry unit in the game. But anyway, we're going to leave it there. It's been 26 minutes in. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.